What's up, guys? Let me show you what we have going on today's job. We're going to be putting in a paver walkway, replacing this concrete sidewalk here, and also there's going to be a paver landing up here and one step down. You can see there's a step here now. There's going to be a step over there and then step onto the landing. We're going to be using Techo Bloc Blu 60 for the main body of the walkway, and then the border is going to be Cambridge. It's going to be a Cambridge border. When we get to the driveway, we'll do like a little apron, kind of fan it out so it doesn't just dive in square. Well, let's get rocking and rolling. First step is to get this concrete out of here. Wanted to show you guys real quick, if you're ever ripping out a front porch stoop, don't just assume it's going to be 4 or 5 inches or even 6 inches of concrete. You can see how thick this thing is. There's 2 layers of block and then probably 8 to 10 inches. Look how thick it is over here. They poured it like a haunch footing, and a lot of times that's what you see on these porch stoops, because 9 times out of 10 this was poured when they did the house foundation. So it wasn't like somebody that just, you know, skimped on it and did a small footing. They're usually pretty Debo, so to speak. But we got it. We started excavating our base. You can see we're digging down. The goal is about 9 inches, but there's some grade changes, so there's some spots where it's a little deeper. Like up in this area is probably closer to a foot. So we'll have a little bit of extra base in this area, which is fine. It's always better to have a little more base than not enough. So this area is dug out, and then we started excavating for the front porch. We excavated down a total of 28 inches. And what that accounts for is 3 rows of block, the cap, and 8 inches of base. So we got the base all dug out, as you can see, all the way down to the front porch. And what we're going to do now, before we put our geofabric down and start building our paver base, we're going to take some 3/4 clean, put it on top of this sub base and compact it. Now the reason I'm doing that is because, if you could tell, this soil has a high clay content, and running a compactor over this, it doesn't do much. A lot of times it'll get stuck. Sometimes it'll bring the moisture out to the surface. Thankfully this is pretty dry and it's not spongy or anything, but we're going to get a nice layer of rock down and just compact that down into this sub base, and then we'll start building our paver base on top of that. There we go. About an inch down. You can still see a little bit of dirt in areas, but that's all you need. This will compact in there real tight. We'll hit that area down there too. Then we'll cover the whole thing with the geostabilization fabric. Here's the fabric we're putting down. It's the SRW stabilization fabric. Alright, so we got our first lift in. You see we're getting a plate compactor running on it. So as soon as he's done compacting this, we'll get our next lift on. It'll be the final lift. It'll be about another 3 or 4 inches. All right, we got the base course in, and we dry fitted the second course. You see we had to make some cuts. We got a cut there, cut over there, and a cut over there. This will actually be behind the first step, so you won't see it anyway. Not that it looks bad or anything, but yeah, we set from the corners, and I wanted to put the cut in the middle so everything was symmetrical and lined up. But now we're going to pull all these off. We're going to fill the courses with some stone, and then we're going to glue these blocks. So here's our porch. We got this built, and then this is going to be our first step. You can see this block extends past. This is going to be buried, so you're not going to see it. That's why I didn't bother to cut it. And it actually provides this step with a little bit of more stability on the edge here, since this extends out past. Our paver height is going to end up coming about halfway up this block, and then you put our cap on, so it's going to be like a 5.5, maybe 6-inch step. And then this will be the same thing here. But before we go any further with this, we got to rip out these 2 boards here. You can see down here on this side, that one's rotted pretty good. And with the rock that we're putting in, you don't want to have your aggregate up against wood like that. So we're going to get this ripped out, and we're going to replace it with a piece of AZAC. This is open grade, so it doesn't hold a lot of moisture, but there will be some moisture in it. So it's better, we'll put a piece of AZAC on there, and he'll never have to worry about it. It's not ideal paver laying weather. I think the camera's foggy. But what you can see, we started laying the pavers here. We got our string set up. This is basically going to be our guide all the way down to the end. We're going to have a border here on this side, and then a border on this side, and we're going to cut the radius around. I'm gonna get you guys set up on a time lapse and we'll keep rolling. You know, I'm blaming this. This is all on Phil. I told him this morning, I said, it's going to be raining. We should probably just wait till tomorrow. We should just wait till tomorrow. He says, no, it's not going to rain. Everything's going to be fine.
Somebody's got to be a company man.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Phil, for being a company man. Says everything's going to be fine. It's going to be nice. Sun's going to come out.
The sun will come out.
When's the sun coming out? It's almost lunchtime. I haven't seen the sun yet.
Because we're singing in the rain.
This is not a productive day. It's not productive. Anyways, guys.
Got to keep this guy working.
Yeah. Let this be a learning lesson for you kids. Stay in school. Do yourself a favor. Get a nice office job, making 6 figures. Otherwise, you're going to end up like us, working in the rain. See this, we got the sun up, which is a great thing. We've had 4 days of rain. It rained all weekend. We weren't here on the weekend, but then Monday and Tuesday it rained. So I didn't get a ton of footage of us laying the pavers, but we're not done yet, so there's still more work for you guys to see. I'll just show you the walkway real quick. Progress so far. We're getting ready to cut our curves. What I do is I take our flex edging, I put it down, and I use like the border to kind of hold it in place. And I lay both sides out to make sure I like it. And in this case, I had the customer come out and look at it as well. And then we just mark it with a pencil. So you can see the line right there. We mark it with the pencil, and then I'm going to cut it on the IQ saw. All right, we got our cuts done, and now we're starting to lay our border in. Now when it comes to laying the border, I don't like cutting every single one. So you got to think, you know, what's an acceptable, you know, gap, and something like that I'm fine with. I'm not going to shave these to try to get this, you know, to close. And then where it's tighter, you know, we made a cut. So what I'm getting at is I personally prefer to cut few as possible, and it's not because of, you know, it's too much work to cut them. This would take 5 minutes to cut those blocks. It's just a matter of preference. I don't like each one to be cut. They start looking like what's that shape, like a rhombus. Like each one will start looking like a rhombus. All right, so we got our bullnose on, we got all of our cuts made, and we basically did a dry fit to make sure everything was nice and square and lined up how we liked it. So far we glued this side and that side, and then I figured I'd get a little bit of footage of us gluing the front here. you want to make sure, I put a lot of glue on all these caps just because they're going to be using it as a step and you don't want it to come loose. But definitely on this corner with these little pieces in here, put a little extra glue.
That's this one.
All right guys, check it out. Let me show you our finished product we have here. I don't know if we mentioned it or not, but these are Techo Bloc Blu 60. It's the smooth. And the border is Cambridge, their regular 4.5 by 9, I think it is. What is it, the Crusader or something. And that's what the customer picked out. They actually liked this color combo better than any of the Techo Bloc combos that they had. And then here is our landing in one step. Again, this is Cambridge. This is their Cambridge Bullnose. The block here is Techo Bloc Semma in chestnut, and then that's the Blu 60 in chestnut. It's the smooth. He's getting ready to have this whole doorway surrounding replaced. We got some mulch down in some areas. You can see you got some mulch here. We didn't do here because he's going to be having his landscaper put in a new bush. We got topsoil and grass seed and straw. No mulch here either. I think this tree's coming out and a new tree's going in there, so he said don't bother mulching because they're just going to be digging that up. But all in all, the job came out great. I like the combination. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this combo, you know, mixing the two manufacturers. It's not something that I normally do, just because, you know, you don't want to get 2 deliveries or have to pick up pavers from 2 different locations if you don't have to. But you know, sometimes if the customer likes certain colors, you go for it. Customer's happy, we're happy. It's on to the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.